All right, so this is the video where we really start with elevation drawings, and I think this is actually, I like all parts of architecture for sure, but I think elevations is kind of my favorite part because you really get to see the building come to life. Okay, so in this house that we're doing, this is an existing home. I've deleted part of the laundry room because I changed the layout a little bit to make it easy for this class, but this is a family home. It's a 3 bedroom. It's about 2,600, 2,700 square feet. I've moved the second story out of the way so you can't see that. And what the project was that the homeowners here, who we called the Foo-Foos, the Foo-Foo family, wanted to. They have parents who just retired or something, and they live out of state, and they like to come in, but they like to stay for a month or 4 or 5, 6 weeks or whatever it is. And for obvious reasons, they need a place to stay, so we don't want to do an addition on the house at this point. And we want to create a little separation if they're going to be there that long. So this project takes a house. Let's call this like an estate lot neighborhood or something. This looks, I think I measured it. I think it was right about an acre. Okay. And we outlined the lot, and then we went ahead and we gave them a buildable area where they can place the thing. So this is challenging the students to consider placement for one. This is kind of the place that I determined because I wanted to have access to the driveway without having to go all the way across the property. And I wanted to create a structure that's going to create some privacy both from where the family is looking, so their line of sight is going to be more direct, and privacy for the people who are staying there in the guest house as well. So this is kind of my target location. I built this off of a series of balloon sketches that I did, very, very quick balloon sketches. And there's a whole design program that goes with this. That was an interview with the family to determine some things that they wanted. They wanted an outdoor seating area. They wanted the ability to get out of a side door. They wanted lots of light and open floor plan because it's a small space. So this space is right around 625 or 650 square feet. Okay. So the first thing in elevation drawings, I can see actually, and I drew this yellow line here, which was to me kind of a question mark line. The reason that yellow line is there, and the reason I'm calling it a question mark, is this is a covered patio, as well as this. This is a covered patio also. I have to move this post, but the purpose of it, so this is a very small one. The other one on the other side is a little bigger. The Foo-Foos, grandma and grandpa, they needed a place to get out of the sun, and they both like to sit outside and eat breakfast and read a book and those types of things. So bear with me while I move this from there to there to keep that in alignment. And then I'm going to move it one more time. Oops, I'm not going to move it. I'm going to copy it. Grab the whole thing. It would be easier. And so this is going to be I'm going to take you just through the initial startup because people get overwhelmed and it can be a pretty lengthy video. So I haven't exactly determined. I'm thinking that this porch on this side might actually extend beyond this one, that it might extend beyond the end of the house. Okay. Just for instance, another thing too, this house is going to sit at a bit of a diagonal over here, but I never draw anything, even if a structure sits on a diagonal within a property, it's parallel possibly to an angled property line. I never draw it that way. I always just draw everything so it's parallel to the X and Y axis, and I do my rotation when it's all set and done. Okay. So really, for me in this case, I kind of treated the side as the front, but in fact, this is actually the front, but the access point, the primary access, is in the side of the home. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this and make lots of copies. Copies are free. So what I do first is I'm going to go ahead and take this drawing and I'm going to rotate it. And this is my first step in elevation drawings. The reason I do that is I want the front of my house, which we're going to call the south elevation. So I want you to remember that regardless of which way the house is facing, like in production architecture, this could be a home in a subdivision on a street. Okay. And that being said, in that type of architecture, you always call the front the south, and then you go around to the east, which would be the right side, and the north, which would be the back side, and the west would be the left side. So, regardless of how you want to refer to it, it really doesn't matter. It's up to you. Okay. But that is what people do. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off and I'm going to bring you back over to a Google image, and I'm going to start by creating my roof overhangs. This is the first thing I'm going to do. Okay. And I'm going to, roof planning is probably the trickiest thing for students. It's still the trickiest thing for me. And I start from blowing out a soffit, which is the overhang. And then you also have to be aware of the fact that the fascia board is the part here that goes up and down, that caps it, where the gutter would attach to. So be aware of that. So those are two terms that I use quite a bit. And we're going to go ahead and just draw those first, and that's really step one. So let me get back to AutoCAD. Now, the way I do this is I just use walls. Soffits can be varying lengths. 12 inches, 16 inches is very popular now in homes. 24 inches is starting to get kind of big. You sometimes do see 8-inch soffits, 6-inch soffits, but I like 16s for a house like this. And the reason I'm going to stick with 16s is because that's what I used on this elevation right here. Okay. So first thing I do, I'm losing my drawing here. First thing I do is I'm just going to offset one wall from the outside of the wall 16 inches. So I go offset 16. And in this case, I'll just select right here. I don't have to, I'll see students all the time who will like offset every little thing and then they'll build connectors. Don't worry about it. Just offset every wall or one portion of a wall on each side of the house. Just extend them. Okay. Remember what I said is this is going to be a covered porch area right here. So I'm just going to treat this entire thing as one wall. And I can extend that out and I'm good. All right, and this tool I think is super handy, and it's called Fillet. It's under your trim tool, or you hit F space. So you get F space bar, and if I move this, you can see what it asks for is I want to select a radius. And when I select a radius, it always remembers the last one you typed in. I think by default it's a half an inch, 0.5. In this case, I'm going to type in 0. I don't want a curve. I want a 90-degree angle. So I click right here, and I click right there. And I can just do this all around the building. So I can right-click, repeat, click, click. Okay. I can do it again, or I can just hit spacebar to repeat, click, click. Okay. I can do it again, all the way around the building. And do it again right here. Where am I going to? I'm going to that one. And one more time from there to there. So that's a very simplified roof outline here, and it might change a little bit. So I got to see kind of how I like this. It's looking a little boxy for a house that's got some shape and dimension. To me, it's looking a little boxy, so I'm not totally thrilled, but we'll see what happens. It'll evolve. So I select those first once I'm all done, and I hit join, J spacebar. And then the next step is I select it, and I want to go ahead and put it on whatever I've set my my layers up as. I'm going to select my roof layer. And last thing, remember the fascia board that we talked about, which is right here. Fascia boards have thickness, and I'm going to draw that. Most of the time, they're actually 3/4 of an inch. It's made out of 1 material, but it's kind of understood in the drawing that will make it a little more prevalent. So I hit offset, and I type in 1 inch, and I select it, and I'm going to bring it outward. Okay. So once you get this done, this is a good stopping point, and this is a good place where you want to go back and look and say, what kind of roof is this going to be? What's the structure look like? And again, the next thing also is going to be to go back, and if you're not 100% positive of what a roof looks like, you got to do a little bit of research and figure out, what kind of roof do you see? I'm guessing you're not going to see a flat roof on this, not in Illinois, anyways. Okay, the mansard roof, you don't see a lot of those. That's like kind of the old Pizza Hut concept. But hip roofs are very popular. Gable roofs are very popular. And then if you have a building that has that makes a turn like this, a cross gable or a cross hipped roof are very popular. You can even incorporate part of a building as a hip and then part as a gable. So that's that. And we'll come back, and video number 2 is going to be getting some initial lines together on that roof to guide us through turning this into something that we can see from the front or the side or whatever.